All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the research track, Honors 200, Shoreline Community College. I think I've probably met most of you, if not all of you, before, at least in passing. If I haven't, I do want to just take a minute to introduce myself, explain where I'm from, how I got here, why I'm here. So, my name's Michael Overa. I am the instructor for the research track and the director of the Honors College here at Shoreline. Probably my favorite job at Shoreline is teaching the research track and being a part of the Honors College. So you can call me Michael, you can call me Overa, you can call me Professor, you can call me some combination of those things. Totally fine, whatever you're comfortable with. So I did grow up here in the Pacific Northwest, not far from Shoreline. Uh, but I've also lived abroad, kind of took advantage of some kind of study abroad type programs, which I can explain in more detail if you're curious. So I lived in London, England. I lived in Dublin, Ireland, and then I lived in Sydney, Australia. And in all of those places, I worked as a bartender. That was what I did sort of between undergraduate school and graduate school. And probably a really good job for a writer. Really allowed me to connect with people and see what a culture was like from the inside. So, in addition to that, like I said, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. I did go to the University of Washington for my undergraduate degree, which is a degree in English. And then I went to Hollins University, which is in Virginia, for my graduate degree. So, in addition to living in Seattle, I've also lived in Virginia. And then along the way, I keep sort of picking up additional certifications and things like that just because that's the way my brain works. So I have a certificate in teaching English as a second language from Seattle Pacific University. I have a certificate in teaching higher education from Harvard. I have a certificate in instructional design from the University of Maryland and a couple others. I just like to keep busy and try and be the best that I can at whatever I do. Now, in addition to all of that, I'm a pretty, I'd say, stereotypical Pacific Northwesterner. So some little pictures here, a little collage. So I do love reading. I read, I don't know how many books I'm keeping track this year, so ask me later on how many books I read in a year. By the way, Master and Margarita by Bulgakov, one of my new favorite books, reading there by a campfire. Two daughters. We like to go hiking, camping, those types of things, very outdoorsy. We have cats, so I'm one of those writers who has cats, although I do also love dogs. I just don't have a big enough place for dogs. Obviously, I like writing. I like handwriting things. It's a picture of kind of a commonplace book, which we'll talk about more in class. I have published two collections of short stories, if you're interested. And I do play guitar. That is a guitar that I made a couple years ago from kind of a kit that my wife bought for me. So, yeah, pretty normal stuff for a Pacific Northwesterner of Gen X, right? Reading, writing, coffee, cats, going outdoors, all that good stuff. So, again, in addition to teaching, I do have two daughters, so Caden and Finley. I will talk about them periodically throughout the class, usually in forms of examples. And my wife Jill, this was a camping trip out on the peninsula where it was raining, but rain would not deter us from having a good time because, it's the Northwest. So, why the research track? Thank you for asking. I sort of came to the research track through a strange path. I was teaching English and at Shoreline, and somebody asked if I would be interested in teaching honors English. So I volunteered and then taught honors English for a couple years. Then the director position opened, and I volunteered for that as well. And then the research track position also opened, and I volunteered for that. So I'm kind of all in on honors. I think it's a fantastic program. There's nothing like it in Washington State, from what I can tell. So it's very unique, and I really do enjoy working with all of you for a lot of different reasons, right? One of those reasons is seeing you all present your work. So this is from a couple years ago. some students presenting at the University of Washington Symposium and meeting with Governor Inslee, who came to campus and talked with our research track students and was absolutely impressed with them. In fact, I believe he said it was the most impressive thing that he had seen at Shoreline during his short visit. Don't quote me on that, but I'm going to stick to it. So I teach the research track because the issue that you research, whatever it is important, and they are things that need to be solved, right? And these are not problems that can only be solved by people with $1 million budgets at fancy Ivy League schools. These are problems that can be solved by anybody who has the passion and the motivation to do so, right? Your enthusiasm for your research and your passion for these topics really makes me optimistic about the future, right? And then, of course, the last thing is, even if you don't continue the research beyond this course, you have skills that will be an asset for the rest of your lives. I've had former research track students tell me that even though they're not doing research anymore, the fact that they graduated as an undergrad with research got them internships, got them jobs, opened a lot of doors for them, right? So, to my mind, being able to teach the research track allows me to multiply the skill set that I have and share it out so that you all can do work that kind of will spread out and ripple out and affect society. And I say that in all honesty. I'm not trying to blow smoke or give a pep talk, although it's kind of a pep talk, I admit. So there we go. That's it. It's a little bit about me. I'm happy to talk with you all more. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you and seeing you in class. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, jokes, memes, or recipes, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you later.